Can you lose 70 pounds in 1 year? Is it healthy to lose 70 pounds in 1 year? And should you lose that amount of weight when you're in recovery? I'll answer all of those questions in today's video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kevin. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. I release one new video each week. In today's video, I'll be looking at a video by Nikki Gets Fit. She explains how she lost 70 pounds in 1 year. That's a lot of weight. But here's the question. Can you lose that amount of weight when you're in recovery? And if you don't need to lose 70 pounds, how do you lose weight safely and effectively during the recovery process? And as a disclaimer, this video is for entertainment purposes only. Let's see how Nikki Gets Fit lost 70 pounds.
And by that I mean I was scared I was going to get diabetes. I was scared I was going to just get high cholesterol. I was just honestly scared for my health and for Adam's health.
You have to have some motivation when you start this process. And for her, it was health problems. It was she didn't want to get high cholesterol and diabetes and high triglycerides and everything else. Sometimes you need fear to motivate you. Some people like to chase rewards. Some people like to run from fear. It just depends on your personality type. But use fear to your advantage. If you don't want to be sick and fat when you're old, take action now.
We really just let our work schedules take over our life. And because of that, we were eating out constantly, multiple times a week, multiple times a day sometimes.
She says they were eating out 3 times a day sometimes. That is a lot of money, and that's a lot of unhealthy food. Clearly, health was not a priority. I remember I used to be hooked on Panda Express. It was a medium box of orange chicken and a large scoop of the fried rice. That was like my jam. And then I would finish that with ice cream. But I wasn't doing that 3 times a day. That's easily $20 or $25 a day just in takeout. And God knows how much oil is in that.
And I would get all this motivation and then just never stick to it.
You need motivation to get started, but you need vision to keep you going. You need a good reason or many reasons to keep going. Motivation is cheap. It's easy to feel motivated after an episode. After an episode, you're feeling bad, you feel guilty, you feel like you need to make a change. I'm never gonna do this again. I'm tired of this. I've had it. It's really easy to say that. But then the next day comes and it's really easy to go back to your old habits and say, one more time, one more time, one more time. This is why I'm not a big fan of motivational montages that you see on YouTube. If those help you in the morning, go ahead, you can listen to those. I never found those particularly useful. At some point, you're going to be confronted with temptation. At some point, you're going to have an urge or a craving, and you're going to need more than motivational quotes to say no.
Adam and I had done MyFitnessPal in the past where we track calories.
She was using MyFitnessPal, but then she says that counting calories was too overwhelming, but she could use MyFitnessPal, and then later she joins Weight Watchers. I don't know, I don't get it. Weight Watchers, you have to count stuff, right? Like points and dailies. But MyFitnessPal gets a bad reputation. I don't think it deserves that. It's just a way to track stuff. It depends on the way that you use it. I've never used MyFitnessPal or any of these other apps. I just don't need to at this point. But I remember back in the day, I would use some software or some app to track everything and look at my macros, and I would play with my macros. It's a big waste of time. For some people, MyFitnessPal keeps them on track. Some people like to track things. I do. And some people like numbers. It's okay. Don't blame MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal is not the problem. It's the way you're using it.
Just did it. And so we signed up that day and immediately just started the program.
And she started Weight Watchers online. I have my own thoughts about Weight Watchers. Do what gets results. That's all I'll say. And if Weight Watchers gets you results, great. It kind of has a sketchy history, and most of the people who do Weight Watchers don't succeed in the long term. That's a different story, but apparently for Nikki, Weight Watchers was the answer. But in Weight Watchers, you still have to count things. So counting calories was too much, but counting dailies was not. Whatever.
Mindset is what made the difference this time for us. This is what made it possible for us to achieve our goals and change our lifestyle.
Mindset's going to play a big role in your weight loss journey or your recovery journey, whichever one, or both. You have to have the right beliefs. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe that it's important. You have to believe that now is the time. That's the biggest one here. And we're gonna see that later in this video.
And it was like I was like sabotaging myself and I just couldn't help myself. I didn't know how to get out of it.
Some people think self-sabotage is your body protecting you. Like it's protecting you from this really restrictive diet. And maybe that's the case. If you're really underweight and you're restricting really hard, then maybe it's not self-sabotage, maybe it's survival at that point. But if you're trying to make changes and you're trying to lose weight and then you eat an entire bag of chips, that is self-sabotage. Why do we do that? Because we have a little child in our head that wants instant gratification, that wants everything now. Your brain isn't a unified whole. You have multiple components competing for the pilot seat at any one moment. The primal part of your brain wants to check social media. The higher part of your brain wants to study for an exam. You will always have this conflict, and sometimes the lower part of your brain wins.
I was using food as a way to cope with these other issues in my life that the food was actually just making it worse.
Yes, food is a way to cope. It's cheap, it's ubiquitous, everybody does it. It's almost like overeating is normal these days. So there's really it's not like abnormal to do that. You eat anyway, so you're already exposed to food. It's such an easy way to distract yourself from whatever problems that you have. It's entertaining, it's comforting, it's a nice distraction, it provides some pleasure, it provides that sedation. I'm not a big fan of sedating yourself with chemicals. I like non-chemical ways of sedating yourself, like meditation and sex. Those are better ways because they're not damaging yourself. You're not damaging yourself with chemicals. I just think food, alcohol, and drugs are really, immature ways of escaping, of solving your problems. And you're not really solving your problems, you're just distracting yourself. Those problems will be there in the future.
Because it helped me to focus on looking at the excuses I was making, finding the issues that were causing them, and fixing those issues.
I like that she brings up reasons here because I like to talk about reasons, not causes. Although eventually she uses the word cause. Nothing can cause you to engage in this kind of behavior. But what we do is we find excuses, reasons, we find ways to justify it. I don't feel good, I need to binge. I'm dissatisfied with my life, I need to binge. I don't know what else to do, I need to binge. I need to find something to do. There's always going to be a reason to continue this behavior.
Huge change I had to make was how I talked to myself. I realized the way I talked to myself was horrible.
Watch out for negative self-talk. Here's the thing, as tempting as negative self-talk is, it doesn't help you. It's almost like a form of indulgence. It does kind of feel good to berate yourself sometimes. I don't know why. I think sometimes we like to self-destruct. There is a self-destruct mechanism in our heads. It feels good to berate ourselves. I've done that so many times in my life. It's like feeling pity for yourself. I don't know why it feels good, but it just does. But here's the thing, it doesn't solve the problem, it only compounds the problem. So if you're committed to a goal, avoid negative self-talk. It will not help you at all. Life is too short for negative self-talk anyway. Somebody once said, I don't know who it was, but he said, don't practice until you get it right. Practice until you can't get it wrong. That's a lot different from fake it till you make it. Either you're doing it right and you know how to do it, or you don't. You can't fake it. I heard this one in grad school a lot. It didn't help. Don't fake it. And regarding affirmations, I don't do affirmations myself. I'll say this though, affirmations only work if you truly believe what you're saying. You can't stand in front of a mirror for 30 minutes and repeat something over and over if you don't really believe it. You have to back it up with inspired action.
One thing that really helped Adam and I was that we didn't tell anybody that we were doing this.
I didn't tell anybody either. I think I told somebody once, but then they forgot. There was no follow-up. I don't think you should have to tell somebody, especially if it's going to damage the relationship or if you think they can't help you. This is why I never told friends and family members, because I just didn't think they could do anything about that. And what were they gonna do about it? They were kind of helpless too, and then they would worry about it, And then there was no advantage to telling anybody. And I always thought that I was going to recover next week, next month. And I said, oh, I'll recover really soon, so I don't need to tell them. Of course, this went on for many years, but I never told them. I only told them after I recovered. Don't feel obligated or compelled to tell anybody.
We were looking up some of the meals we were eating at restaurants, 70, 80, 90 points for meals that we were eating.
Again, restaurant food. I know restaurants have had a bad 18 months. It hasn't been a good year and a half for the hospitality industry. And I feel sorry for a lot of the workers and the waiters and the cooks, but man, they put so much oil in those meals. It's just drowning in oil. For example, my favorite meal at Cheesecake Factory is the vegan Cobb salad. It's one of the few things I can order at Cheesecake Factory. And it has 1,200 calories and about 80 grams of fat. Now, why does it have 80 grams of fat? Because they drown it in oil. You can see your reflection in the olive oil. There's so much olive oil. My point is, the portions are too big. They used way too much oil, too much other stuff. If you're trying to lose weight, if you're in recovery, don't go to a lot of restaurants. I hardly went to restaurants at all during my recovery process. And you know what? I got results. I minimized my episodes, I lost the weight, I got healthier. These days, I go to restaurants once in a while. I order something really light because I have plenty of food at home. I'm there for the company anyway. I'm not really there for the delicious food. But if you are trying to lose weight, you will have to sacrifice some social events and some restaurants. That's all there is to it.
Like, I used to crave it, and now even the thought of it just kind of makes me feel like blah. And I still do eat it, but I make way different choices when I'm eating out. Like I said,
I'm glad her cravings for fast food are down. I think what happened is she lost the compulsion to have the fast food. If you put fast food in front of Nikki's face and said, okay, I want you to eat the fast food, she would enjoy it. She would still get that same chemical effect. I would still enjoy a box of orange chicken from Panda Express. I would still enjoy a big Sonic blast with Reese's peanut butter cups in it. But what I don't have anymore is that compulsion. I can drive past a Sonic, which I do almost every day, and say, yeah, no. I don't even notice it anymore. But there was a time in my life when I had to have Sonic Blast or Panda Express orange chicken or the Chipotle chicken burrito. I thought I had to have it. Now I don't have that compulsion anymore. That's what happened to Nikki. She likes it. If it's available, she'll have it, but she doesn't have that hot burning desire to go get it.
We did not have fast food one time, and it wasn't because we wanted to restrict it. We knew that we were going to incorporate it later in our journey, but...
And it also goes to show that cravings can change. Things that you think you have to have, you don't really need to have. There are some things that I had to have in the past. Now I haven't had them for months, longer than that, and I don't even notice.
4 points in sauces.
Here's a little weight loss tip for you. Watch out for sauces and condiments. It's a really easy way to add a lot of calories. Mayonnaise, even stuff like ketchup, barbecue sauce, ranch dressing, salad dressings in general, olive oil, right? I mean, olive oil, a tablespoon of olive oil, fine. But 3 or 4 tablespoons, that's a lot. Just watch out for the condiments. You don't really need them. I got used to eating salads dry. You might think, oh, that's so terrible. It's not. She wasn't restricting, she was just saying no. She was making a trade-off. She wanted to lose weight, she wanted to improve her health, so she said no to fast food. But I like the psychology here. She didn't say never, she said later. And that changes everything. If you can just tell your brain, not right now, I'll have it in the future, makes a big difference. But if you say never again, you're really tempted to eat a lot today because you are convinced that you will never have it again. How many times have you had a Last Supper? Because you told yourself that today was the last day that you'll ever have whatever. Of course, it wasn't the last time. You told yourself that to justify the behavior.
Putting this money into my health, it actually motivates me more because I'm spending my hard-earned cash on health. I'm gonna actually stick to it and make it worth my while.
You choose how you spend your money. You can either spend money to damage your body and your health and feel terrible, or you can spend money on really healthy stuff. I spend less money now on food than I did when I was a binge eater, way less, and I'm a lot healthier for it. Healthy food doesn't need to be really expensive. You can get frozen vegetables, you can buy potatoes, you can buy oats, nuts. Meat is a little expensive. Protein in general is going to be more expensive, so pay more for that. But everything else is not really that expensive, especially if you eat a boring, simple diet like I recommend.
You just have to start with these small changes.
Yes, a million times, make small changes. One of my favorite mantras is start now, but start small. Just start making some change today. What is that change going to be? It doesn't need to be a massive change. You don't need to be overeating on restaurant food 3 times a day and then tomorrow eat nothing but vegetables. That's too much. But I will say this, the change needs to be noticeable. Let's just say, for example, you check your phone 50 times a day. That's probably an understatement. If you only do 49 times the next day, that's probably not enough. But if you say, I'm not going to check my phone the first hour of the day, that's enough to notice a change, and it will make a difference. But it's not all or nothing. You don't say, okay, tomorrow I'm never going to check my phone. That's too much. You're just going to procrastinate. And that's a big reason people procrastinate, is because they think they have to make all the changes all at once.
First of all, we always said, okay, we'll just start tomorrow. We'll just start tomorrow. So then we would start tomorrow, or we would just never start tomorrow. We would just mess up that whole day, say we were going to start tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes and we're still messing up. And messing up, I just mean going off track of what we were trying to do.
This is my favorite part of the video. I'll just start tomorrow. How many times have we said that? Tomorrow I will what? Tomorrow I will. Tomorrow I will. It is your brain's protective mechanism. Your brain doesn't like to do hard things. Your brain doesn't like to let go of crutches. Your brain doesn't like to sacrifice anything. Your brain likes entertainment. It likes tasty food. It likes fun. It likes pleasure. And when you tell yourself you're not going to have that anymore, you find reasons to keep it in your life. I'll start tomorrow was my mantra for about 10 years.
If I restrict myself, then I just keep thinking about it and I keep wanting it and more and more. And then when I do get it, I indulge in it. And I'd rather have a little bit every day.
This sounds like intuitive eating. Like if you don't have something, eventually you're going to binge on it. That's not true. I haven't had a lot of my binge foods in months, and I doubt that if you put it right here in front of me that I would binge on it. Cravings change, preferences change. Just because you go an extended period without having something doesn't mean you're going to binge on it. I think that's a faulty understanding of psychology. There's a difference between abstaining from something and restricting it. Big difference.
Weight, we always set like certain weight goals by a certain date, and that just never seemed to motivate me, and it seemed to just discourage me more. Because
one thing that might keep you motivated during a weight loss journey is to have some reward for a milestone. One thing I did when I hit one of my milestones was I got a hot stone massage. It was really relaxing. I'm glad I did it, but it didn't involve food. Don't have food rewards during the weight loss journey. Make sure all of your rewards, all of your carrots are not food. You can have all of that food when you get to the end, but even then, not a lot of it. One thing you want to do during a weight loss journey is change your preferences, change the way you see food. Nikki probably sees food differently. She probably looks at fast food with disgust now. I can't imagine eating some of the things that I used to eat as a binge eater or as a bulimic. I only ate them because they were very rewarding and they were good in large quantities. Now that I can't have them in large quantities, they're not so great. There's a big difference between having a bag of M&Ms and only 10 M&Ms. Consistency, again, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. You have to be consistent. Remember, it took her a year to reach this goal. 1 year, that's a long time. You have to show up every day for an extended period of time to get the results you want. I hate to say this, but many of the things that will make you successful in life are boring. Editing this video is boring. Scripting this video was kind of boring. Writing notes is kind of boring. Doing taxes is kind of boring. Cardio can be boring sometimes. Your daily routine can be kind of boring sometimes. The more you can tolerate routine and boredom, the better.
Don't be hard on yourself in this journey, because you're learning. You're learning how to take care of yourself. You're learning how to eat well.
Self-forgiveness is really critical because you will make mistakes, you will sabotage yourself. You will not always perform the way you want to perform. That's why you need to think long term, because it takes time to make the changes, it takes time to achieve these results, it takes time to do anything great, and you will make mistakes. Whether you're in recovery or you're losing weight, you are relearning. You're teaching your brain to do different things. When this happens, we do this. Your brain is a learning machine. It's always learning, and you just have to teach it new tricks. And learning is not always fun. Learning any skill is not always fun. Mastery is not always fun. The result is great. The road to get there is kind of mundane.
And yeah, you had a mess up, but then you get right back on track and you feel great.
And the sooner you get back on track, the better. You don't want one episode to lead to a second, to a third, to a fourth, to a week, to a month. It's really easy to lose momentum. And I've said this so many times, but once you get the momentum, keep the momentum.
If I was consistent and I stayed on track for a year and I was able to lose 70 pounds, and guys, I say that out loud and I don't even believe it, because
the sooner you get back on track, the better. She was consistent for an entire year. A year! I mean, that takes a lot of dedication. Imagine what she was thinking on day one. Imagine if you have to be consistent for an entire year and today's only day one. I'll say this, enjoy the process, enjoy the routine. If you can learn to enjoy it, it's going to make the process a lot better. Enjoy every milestone, look forward to every milestone, wake up excited each day to make a little bit more progress. If you can enjoy the grind, like Jeff Bezos says, enjoy the grind, you're going to be successful, one day at a time.
The gym. I go there and I do the lifts that I enjoy, and that's like, first of all, what gets me there, because I'm excited to do what I enjoy.
I mentioned this in an email a couple of weeks ago. By the way, if you're not on my email list, send me a message on WhatsApp or email me. But here she is doing glute thrusts, or what I call booty thrusts, at Planet Fitness, or at least it looks like Planet Fitness. Couple things, don't work out at Planet Fitness. Only go to Planet Fitness if it's 24/7, or if it's really clean and the other gym is not clean, or if it's your only option, or if you're on a really tight budget. If you're on a really strict budget, fine, go to Planet Fitness, pay your $10 a month. But if you have enough money to buy takeout 3 times a day, don't go to Planet Fitness. And ladies, do more than glute thrusts when you go to the gym. I see too much of that. Your butt is not the only part of your body. Just keep that in mind.
It's kind of crazy. I lost 50 pounds in 5 months, and then I only lost an additional 20 pounds in those 7 extra months. So
this is a really good point. So she lost 50 pounds in the first 5 months. Wow. And then it took her 7 months to lose the next 20. So if you put that on a curve, her weight was like this, and then it kind of hit a flat line. It was like an inverted hockey stick in a way. So really rapid at first, but then it took her 7 more months to lose 20 pounds. So 7 months, that's what, 30 weeks and only 20 pounds. So she was losing less than a pound a week for over 7 months. She could have freaked out. She could have said, oh, this isn't working anymore, or I need to accelerate my weight loss, or she could have done a crash diet, but she didn't. So I really respect Nikki in this way. She thought long term, and she realized that weight loss would be fast in the beginning and then it would slow down towards the end. And you should expect that. Expect a lot of weight loss in the beginning, especially if you decrease the frequency of those episodes in the beginning, episodes of overeating. But then the more you lose, the harder it is to lose weight. It's just a number. And the thing about weight loss is that it's not super critical. It's not super urgent. It's something you need to do, but you're not going to die if you don't lose weight today. It's not that urgent. A broken leg, an infection, those are urgent matters. Weight loss is not. I'm not saying that you shouldn't get started now. What I am saying is forgive yourself. If you're in a surplus today, you can always create a deficit tomorrow.
And I guess just realizing that everything was in my control. My excuses that I was making, like everything was in my control.
And she's right. This is totally within your control. Your excuses are within your control. Your behavior is within your control. You decide what you do every day. And nobody is going to do this for you. You have to take action. You have to develop your reasons. You have to show up every day. Even if you had $1 billion, you would still have to put in the work. There are some things that you can't outsource. There are some things that you can't buy. You can hire a housemaid to clean your house. You can't hire somebody to eat for you. You can't hire somebody to go to the gym for you. I show a mix of tough love and empathy. I empathize with people who have these kinds of problems. I empathize with obese people. I can't imagine being obese. I can't imagine the ridicule. I can't imagine being hungry all the time. I can't imagine the reward they must get every time they eat. It's really hard to lose weight when you're obese. So I show empathy for them. On the other hand, it is a problem, and you're not healthy if you're obese. And it is something that you need to take care of today. So it's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Can you lose weight during recovery? Yes, you can. In fact, I endorse it, but it shouldn't be the number one thing. The most important thing is your belief set and also your behavior. Focus on not having episodes. Focus on feeding yourself appropriately every day. Focus on living a healthy life. Get enough sleep. Eat a simple, boring diet. Go to the gym each day. Say no to temptation. Obviously, there's more to it than that, but if you focus on good behavior, and a healthy lifestyle, you will get the result that you're looking for. It might take longer than you need to, and you might not lose 70 pounds in 1 year. 70 pounds is a lot, by the way. Maybe you don't need to lose 70 pounds. I hope you don't need to lose 70 pounds. But do not focus on aggressive weight loss when you're in recovery. Don't focus on aggressive weight loss, period. You need to play the long game. 70 pounds in 52 weeks, that's a pretty good rate. Even if you lost 30 pounds in a year, that would be a pretty good rate. What do you think of Nikki's journey? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my links in the box below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them and I'll see you there. And as always, eat the way you're designed to. I don't miss episodes. I don't miss binging. I don't miss purging. I don't miss the lost time. I don't miss spending money. I don't miss being really overweight. I don't miss my old clothes. I don't miss any of that. Yeah, maybe the high, maybe the escape and the entertainment. That was kind of nice. But it's so temporary and it just messes up every other component of your life. So no, I don't miss overeating, I don't miss binge eating, and I certainly don't miss the side effects. And she took measurements, which I absolutely endorse. I don't think there's anything wrong about stepping on a scale or putting a tape measure around your belly button and measuring your body or getting a DEXA scan or whatever. Don't make it an obsession. Don't step on the scale multiple times a day. Don't let the scale dictate your mood. Don't let it dictate your behavior.